What is going on, you guys? My name is Cody Thixton, and this is Interesting Podcast. Coming to you guys on September 10th, 2023 for episode 69, where today we have another very, very special guest. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you guys get notified whenever I upload content. Make sure to go and follow me on social media at CodyT503. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Let's get right into this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure to bring to you guys Michaela Roberts.
Hey everybody, thanks Cody.
How you doing today, Michaela?
I am not tech savvy at all.
Oh man, that is awesome. Well, thank you so very much for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. I got to get pretty.
All right. Well, maybe if you could introduce your name and where you're from, and I guess maybe give us a little bit of information about Aislinn.
Oh, hell yeah. So my name's Michaela. I am originally from Lincoln City. And I just had a little girl. She's about 4 months old. Her name's Aislinn Ann. And holy smokes, has it been an experience so far? Definitely a new mom.
That is so cool. So, like, what would you say would be like the number one aspect that you found most scary about coming into being a mother?
Oh man. God, everything. The whole 9 months I was pregnant, you don't have anything to do but prepare, mentally prepare, physically prepare, everything for this new little human, and it's all yours, and you know it's just gonna be you. You can't hand it back, you know. But it was fun getting ready for her. But God, I'm so freaking happy she's here now. Holy smokes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It definitely like takes away from the exhaustion that you would typically feel becoming a new parent, just to know that you're actually providing for somebody that is so little. Like it is crazy.
Yeah, and so crazy to watch this little human being not know absolutely anything at all. And her little, God, it's a new thing every day that she just picks up. Like she just started rolling over. So now we got to really watch her. It's cool. But she's
That is so cool.
freaking a good baby. I am actually pretty lucky because she's pretty chill.
So how did you guys actually come up with the name Aislinn for her?
Oh yeah. So I was being really picky about girl names because I wanted something I've never heard before, and I had a few, you know. Anywho, her dad's mom, my man, his mom, suggested Aislinn. And I loved it from the get-go. I was like, okay, that's the one. I've never heard it before. I've never met anybody named Aislinn or anything like that. But he wanted to change it to Aislinn, A-C-E, Aislinn. And I thought it was a pretty cute ass name. And so I was dead set on her middle name being Anne after my mama too. And it just goes together so perfectly. It's so adorable. I have gotten nothing but compliments on her sweet little name.
That is awesome. Yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
like the same thing whenever I tell somebody that like Silas's name's Silas, they're like, "Oh, that is so unique." But to like actually
Yeah.
like find a unique name for your kid, it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's hard. Let me tell you, we're going through the end of like the names they post on movies and stuff like that, and there's like, well, what about Jimmy? What about Bob?
Oh, that is so cool. Well, let's kind of like start to get into a little bit about maybe like your childhood, and then that can lead it into your mom. So, like, how was your childhood growing up?
Oh, actually, it was pretty good. We we didn't have a lot, honestly. We didn't have much, but my mom was pretty good about making something out of nothing. She was really, really good about that. Or hard times, she was really good about making it fun, you know. But my childhood was actually pretty. I grew up in Lincoln City, so we had the beach. We all were just little freaking hoodlums running around Lincoln City. Actually, to be a kid in Lincoln City was chill as fuck. Oh shit, I'll say that, but
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, I know that, like, there was a period, in 2014 in which I lived in Lincoln City, and, I was working at, like, a hotel that was, like, beachfront, and, like, whenever, like, you would sit there and, like, be able to, like, take your half and then just go and, like, walk on the beach, like, I couldn't imagine actually growing up being in that environment. Like, that has to be so cool to know that, like, you had just the ultimate, not freedom, but just something that could really take you apart from whatever is going on in life. So, like, that had to have been a crazy environment to actually grow up in.
no, yeah, it was so much fun. The school there, the little elementary school I went to, all the friends that I made in grade school were all still really good friends. You know, we still catch up and everything like that. It was really cool growing up over there.
That is awesome. So, like, how many siblings do you have?
Oh gosh, I am the baby of 7 children. Yeah, I've got 6 older brothers and sisters. It's
No,
not an
that
army.
is that had to be a packed house.
It most definitely was. Holy smokes, let me tell you.
That is so cool. So, like, what was one, of your siblings that you mostly, like, looked up to? And, like, can you explain to us how they were as a person?
Yeah, so well, it's kind of a toss up between, all of them. It you learn being the baby, you get to sit back and watch them all make their dumb mistakes, and of course I've made my share of dumb mistakes, but you just pick up a little of everything from each one of them, and we all have such different personalities. But I would probably have to say my brother John. Actually, I was thinking about this the other day. My brother John, he lives in Germany, and he's got English schools over there and everything like that. And he's always his whole life he's always been very independent, and out of all of us, I'd probably say he's the one to be the go-getter. I mean, shit, he moved to Germany, grew up in and moved to Germany. But he's always been a hard worker. He's always been a complete sweetheart. I I don't know. There's so much about him that that blows my mind. He's so courageous. And he's funny. Good gosh, he's funny. To get him into a room or just to have all of us together, you would be peeing your pants. We're all funny. Um, and then just feeding off of each other, it gets crazy. It gets crazy. But yeah, no, John, my brother John, he's incredible. And I hope I can be half the person that he is. I guess I could word it that way. I don't know. I hope to grow up to be like him someday, I guess. Have a level head on my shoulders like he does.
Yeah. So, like, when did he actually, like, initiate that whole conversation of him actually going to Germany? And was like, what was your initial reaction to
I was so sad. And like it was it was bittersweet, because it's like, holy smokes, good for you.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it was sad not to have him in just here in Corvallis. You could just hop in the car and And it was also, we were nervous for him too, just because we love him and it's a whole different freaking country, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but we were also so freaking proud of him, so proud of him. And I remember, gosh, I was little. He was still in high school, and I remember him arguing with my mom about uh, taking German language class. Anywho, um, and she's like, "You need to take Spanish. You know, it's most common. You'll be able to use it and everything like that." And he's like, "No, sorry." But anywho, and then, lo and behold, years later, he moves over to Germany. That's another thing is he's one to, if you think he can't do it, he'll show you that he can, and it's incredible. It's amazing. We're all very, very.
That is really cool. So, like, before we actually, like, start to kind of, like, get into, like, your mom, um, how much of a intricate person was she in your whole life?
Oh gosh, she was my whole life. My goodness. It was just me and her, besides the siblings and everything like that. It was just me and her, always, 24/7. Me and her were best freaking friends. Um, and it's funny because um, she, everybody would tell me about how much I looked like my mom, and it's funny now to have Aislinn and everybody being like, "Oh my God, she's a spitting image of you." And so I guess we kind of trickled the good look genes down the line.
Oh, that is awesome. So, like, if you could kinda explain to everybody, um, exactly how did your mom pass away?
Oh yeah, so it's this crazy this it's just this virus that you can get, but it's kind of rare. It's like this special little particle that you breathe in, and you can get it from digging in your gardens or hot tubs or just your air conditioner. And what it is, it's a certain type of tuberculosis. And so, which comes from bird guano. Anywho, and you just breathe in, you're just the lucky person to breathe in that one particle. Anywho, it causes nodules in your lungs. And so it's like having pneumonia times 100. And it's rough. It's super, super rough. And it's insane how far it can take you down too. They warned us that you know, if the antibiotics that you have to be on for them are insane, super, super strong stuff. And they warned us, you got to make sure she's eating tubs of ice cream, and it's a rough virus. And I don't know, it was insane. And it is insane that just one certain person, one special person can catch it.
Yeah.
It was not, it's a bad virus. COVID is nothing compared to this thing.
Yeah, so, like, what was, like, running through your mind as the doctors were sitting there and explaining those things to you? Like, "Hey, this is what has to happen." What was running through your mind as you were hearing everything?
Oh man. I think I was in shock, kind of, almost. You know what I mean? Because when the doctor actually, looks you in the face and says, "No, this is, we can't, it's not just gonna take a few antibiotics and you're okay," um it's like being told you've got like terminal cancer kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was shocking. The best way I could describe it is just complete shock. And I remember after the appointment, we stopped to get lunch, and we're sitting outside on the curb, and I just stared at her the entire time, just like trying to memorize every single little bit of her face, her hair, the specific color of her eyes. Sorry.
No,
It
no,
was
you are totally fine.
crazy. It was shocking, and I don't think I ever really initially got over the shock of it. I just there's no way that she could be this sick and that she's going anywhere and she's going to live forever. I don't. It's hard to think of your parents not being here at some point. We know at
Mhm.
some point it's not going to happen. But being that young and I had barely even started my life yet.
Yeah.
um it was something that I never want to feel again. It was definitely world changing for sure. Like I said, I just memorized everything I possibly could about every feature she had, her laugh, her face when she got angry, everything.
Yeah. So it was like, what was one thing that she had kind of taught you growing up that you mostly admired that you also want to carry on with your children?
Oh gosh, she was strong. She's really strong. Like I said, we've gone through some stuff. But she's a really strong woman, and somehow she always made sure everything was okay. Uh, Even when you could tell she was a little worried, she'd still figure it out. She always figured it out, and I hope that, well, I've picked it up too. It's just like I said, just how strong she was. Um, she was probably the strongest person I had ever met, to be honest. She was a good mom. She was a great grandma, um, a good friend, and shit, she was smart and beautiful, and did a lot of really cool things in her life, besides being a mother to seven crazy kids.
Yeah.
She was a
Well,
great lady.
here's a question. So like if you could ever imagine a time in which your mom was actually able to meet Aislinn, what do you think her reaction to her would be?
Oh gosh, my mom would love her. My mom loved babies, clearly, because she had seven kids. But God, that woman loved babies. And I think I was just 21 when she passed away, and like at 20 years old, she was like, uh, if you had a baby, I wouldn't be mad, kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, freaking right. I'm 21 or 20 years old. You can cuddle with the cat, but um, she would freaking love Aislinn. Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. Every time I see her, she does something cool, and I want to pick up the phone and call mom and tell her about it. Just because I know how much she would have loved her and how much fun Aislinn would be having with her.
Yeah. Yeah. So like what would be the one thing that you would want to ultimately tell your mom if you actually had the capability of doing so?
But I'm doing really good. That I'm happy. I'm in a good place. I've got a good man, and um, her granddaughter is absolutely beautiful and looks exactly like our side of the family. uh, and that I freaking miss her.
Yeah. Yeah. So like what would be like the overall aspect that she mostly brought to your life that you miss the most?
Oh man, she was my best friend. So just having that companionship, um, being able to get up on the phone and call her and just bullshit about our day, or we would always do this thing where we'd go get coffee and go sit down by the river here in Independence, and we'd just sit there and talk about the day and talk about what we wanted to do, even for that month or that day, or vent. Um, it I just miss having my best friend. She was a good best friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I had known, the first time that I ever heard about you kinda dealing with that depression after your mom had died, that you had actually gone to, like, the side of the river, and you were just kinda just chilling there by yourself, and, like, you had just brought up that that was something that you guys would do. So, like,
Yeah,
was that kind of like a revisiting feeling? You know,
yep.
as far as, like, dealing with everything and, like, what was going through your mind as you were sitting there on the river by yourself, just dealing with
Well,
everything?
it's kind of cool because I also inherited her pickup truck, and that's what um I learned to drive in, was this pickup. And so I'd take the pickup down to the river. I'd go get my coffee in the morning. I'd take the pickup down to the river and sit there for hours just staring at the river and thinking. And every once in a while, it was crazy not to have her in the passenger seat next to me, and talking and everything like that. Because we'd sit there and talk for hours, um, and just enjoy each other's company. And then to be um, sitting there with without her, um, was crazy.
Yeah.
But I do cherish those moments. I'm glad that I got the time that I did with her. You know what I mean? That I
Mhm.
can look back on, that I can do with Aislinn. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something I was gonna ask you is, like, are you gonna carry, like, those same exact traditions with Aislinn and really be
Oh,
able to be, like, a representative of what your mom was?
oh yes, yes, absolutely. I remember the first day she taught me how to make a mud pie, and I cannot wait until I can teach Aislinn to make a mud pie. Sit in mud for hours. I cannot freaking wait.
Oh, that is gonna be awesome. Well, let's kinda talk about you and your, relationship with Ryan. So, like, when did you guys actually first meet?
Oh, a couple years ago, around 4th of July, we were both working, and he was working in the restaurant, and I was housekeeping, and uh, we just kind of caught each other's eye here and there while we were working or whatever. And then finally, um, I had a couple beers one night, and I messaged him on Facebook. And then after that, we sat there and we were, bullshitting and talking. And then eventually we were just really good freaking friends. We were really, really, really good friends. And then, you know, we go to Bandon and um, move back here, move back home, and now we have a little nugget. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I was sitting there asking him about your guys' experiences in the past, the other night, and, he was telling me that you guys were able to go and see, Kevin Hart live. So, like, how was that, like, going to that comedy show?
so much fun. But I'm a very small town kind of girl.
Mhm.
I Portland. I hate Portland. Sorry, but I do. It's just too much. And anything bigger than that, I can't even imagine dealing with. I just, but I saw that Kevin Hart was going to be in town. So I was like, well, shit, we got to go. We have to go.
Mhm.
And I've never done anything like that, you know. And so I surprised him with the Kevin Hart tickets. And they were just before Christmas was his show. And by that time I was pretty pregnant. And then sitting in those seats was terrible. Being pregnant and sitting in those seats was so uncomfortable that I was like literally like turning in my chair and I could not get comfortable. She even started wiggling. I don't even think she was comfortable. And then finally, it sounds lame, but we left the show early because one, who wants to deal with all the freaking people and all the traffic and shit?
Mhm.
And two, I was just so freaking uncomfortable. But it was really cool. I mean, we got to actually, I mean, we were there long enough to see him, and you know, we probably watched more than half of the show before we were finally like, okay, fuck this, let's freaking.
Oh, that is awesome. So I know, like, typically, like, girls will go through, like, a lot of cravings, during their pregnancy. So, like, what did you mostly crave as far as food products when it came to your pregnancy?
So, dairy, so but dairy. I wanted chocolate ice cream, chocolate, chocolate shakes, cheese. I ate a lot of cheese. And milk. I would go through gallons of milk by myself. No
Mhm.
help. Dairy. I couldn't get enough. I literally couldn't get enough.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, I know I have this one photo on my Facebook. Um, I had sat there and given Silas, like, his first ever, like, ice cream sandwich, and he has it just, like, all over his head and his body, and it's like, can you not wait to be able to just, like, give her, like, a bowl of something and see, like, what she does with
Oh,
it?
yes. No, I can't. I can't freaking wait. It's gonna be adorable, and I can't wait to clean up her little messy face. And oh gosh, no, I'm actually counting down the days until we can start doing solid foods. Nobody told me. I mean, they said that, you know, breastfeeding is, you know, it sucks at first, you know, but it gets better. And they
Mhm.
say it like that. They don't go into detail about anything. Nobody tells you how much it actually sucks at first. Then there's like some people where they just like latch the baby on and it's so magical and it's so beautiful and no, it sucked. Sorry. It sucked. I'm not gonna lie, I almost gave up because it hurt so damn bad. But
Oh, man.
it does get better. It does get better. They're right about that. Now you know, it ain't nothing now, but oh gosh, I was in agony at first.
Oh, that is awesome. So I know that, earlier I had actually sent you a clip that I wanted you to watch, and that
Oh yeah.
was of, Awesome Kong making her AEW debut, and, just kind of like a little story that kind of backs what you had watched, and the reason why I felt so implied to go out and send you that is, so in 2013, she had worked for WWE and she was under the name Karma. Like she was just a basic wrestler. And she
Okay.
had worked there for 3 months and then she ended up getting pregnant, right? But with her WWE contract, they didn't allow that to happen because like you have to be in tune with what's being told on television and all of that shit, right? Well,
Okay.
she ended up getting fired because she wanted to keep her kid. And then it was, unfortunately, 7 months into her pregnancy, she had actually miscarried. So not
Uh,
only did she lose, like, her all-time dream job, she
no.
left that job, and then she ended up losing her kid, right? Well, we fast forward to May 25th, 2019, AEW Double or Nothing at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. That's when you saw Brandy Rhodes come out and say, "I don't want this match to just be great. I want it to be awesome." And then that's when Awesome Kong's music hit. And that was like one of the last times in which I've actually like jumped off of my couch and was like, "Hell yeah, dude, let's go." Like that is so awesome. So for
Yeah,
her to like lose essentially like everything, and then for her to be able to come back to a pro wrestling company and be signed to a contract where she's going to be making bank and she gets to do what she loves to do. Oh man, it was so awesome. That's why like I sent you that clip earlier and I was like, you have to watch this cuz like oh dude, it was so awesome watching it live.
crazy. Oh my gosh. And yeah, and for them to just completely just to let her go, let ever and make her let everything go, and then to lose her baby afterwards, that is I can't even imagine. I would go crazy. I would lose my mind.
Yeah, yeah, that's when, like, when I saw her walk out, oh, dude, I popped so hard. I jumped up. I was just waving, I was like, "Yes, yes!" 'Cause, like, now, like, she's actually making what, she's doing what she loved to do, and just knowing her backstory just made it all that more special.
Oh, yeah,
So,
no
like
kidding.
yeah, so, like, was there any, maybe, backstory going throughout your life that where it kinda really accumulated at one point and you were like, "Now I'm happy."
Yeah. It was about a year after my mom had passed. Um, and it was her 1 year anniversary. And I remember one night I was just, I was at this point, I was buying a house with my ex, and we had been together for, pretty much our whole since the 8th grade. So grew up together pretty much, We were buying a house, and I was up one night by myself in the garage, and I remember my mom, um, you know, because I would go to her for about everything, relationship problems, just life. It's your mom, and I remember telling her that I wasn't happy anymore, and and I remember her telling me, this is what I, you know, think you should do. You're your own person, but um, if this is what you want to do, and then great. But I know you're not happy, and here's some things you can do to change that. And I that night I was in the garage by myself. I was thought back to that conversation of, I mean, if this is what you want, cool, but don't waste your life. Don't waste it. And finally, I was done. I wanted something new, and the relationship, we grew up together, so we were just stupid kids together, and it wasn't, anything that either one of us needed. I think it was more comfort than anything on why had stayed together for so long, because we're both doing great now, but that was the turning point, huge turning point. I you know left that situation, and actually got to figure out who Michaela was, finally, without any outside input. It was just me. There wasn't mom, and there wasn't him or anything like that, because I honestly lived my life completely through both of them. And to find me, myself, after my whole life was incredible. It was probably the best summer I'd ever had. And now I'm so much happier with who I am now than I was then. And, I've got this beautiful little girl. I've got a nice, quiet little life. Um, I'm happy finally. In the 10 years that I was in that situation with him, wasn't happy. I wasn't truly happy. But now I'm content. I'm happy. I'm proud of myself, you know. Um, that was probably that night was the turning point when I was like, okay, no more.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, was it during that time that you felt like your life was the most hectic for you to feel like you could do something better? Or was there maybe another situation that you had gone through that had maybe really pushed you to recalibrate everything?
Um, Definitely losing my mom in general. That was a hard year. Was trying to, cope with that and the grief and everything like that. It was a hard year. And then I hit that point and um I just and in his defense and everything like that, um I just you always hear about these people just one morning you wake up and you just don't want this anymore. And I think that was what it was for me. It's just, and I just didn't want it anymore. I wanted something else and I wanted to just start completely freaking new. And I was able to let go of everything, um, and just recreate myself. And I'm happier for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, have you ever wanted to move outside of Oregon and do something completely different?
Yeah. Um, I mean, I love Oregon. I definitely, want to venture out, of course. But I mean, for now, life is good. For now, I'm happy.
All right. Well, let's kind of start to talk about my mom a little bit. So, when
Yeah.
did you and her actually start to talk to each other, and when did you kind of know that you guys had that connection?
Oh man. So, uh, I'd started at the hotel. I was, started housekeeping, and she was training me. And honestly, I don't know what it was. We just clicked. We just clicked. She gets my quirkiness, and she laughs at all my jokes. Uh, we relate to each other. Uh, it's amazing how much we can relate to each other. We find ourselves saying the same thing, doing the same thing, buying the same exact things. um, she was just training me, and ever since that day, me and her were just freaking best buds.
Yeah. Yeah, I know when me and her were in Montreal, you guys had actually gone to, a little staycation in Lincoln City. So,
Yeah.
how did that whole scenario
Uh,
happen? What did you guys do?
we went to Lincoln City and we went to the beach and we had lunch and bought some records and just did us. And the thing is about me and her is that it's kind of like the relationship that I had with my mom, that we can talk about everything and we laugh about everything and we're just comfortable with each other right off the bat. It was a comfortability that, you don't get with many people and you should definitely cherish and hang on to.
Yeah. Well, that is so awesome. Well, before we actually end up closing everything out, and I do want to extend the offer that maybe I can have you back one day and we can
Yes,
do this again.
yes, I would love that. Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, so just before we actually end up closing everything out, is there anything that I guess you feel most prideful in when it comes to now being a mom?
Oh, that I got to grow up a lot around a lot of kids. You know, seven children. My mom, we all had, you know, lots of kids. So I think I have 24 nieces and nephews now. But I've been around a lot of kids, and so I was most proud of the fact that I had already been around enough kids to kind of know to what to expect for the most part. I mean, it's totally different when you can't hand the child back to their mother, but uh, I'm pretty proud of the fact that I am an awesome aunt and I was able to be around them growing up and seeing them grow up and everything like that, and to go through it with my own baby is priceless.
That is really cool. Well, I cannot thank you enough for actually joining me here today. It has been an absolute pleasure to sit down and just know who Michaela Roberts is and her perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Cody, for having me on here, and I can't wait to do it again. We will be doing it again, and I'm so happy that you even started this. It's great, and we're proud of you too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and I cannot wait to talk to you in a little while.
Sounds good. See you
All
later.
right, bye.
Bye.
Well, all right, you guys. So that was Interesting's podcast interview with Michaela Roberts. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you guys get notified whenever I upload content. Make sure to go and follow me on social media at CodyT503. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And remember, in 1 week, September 17th, Interesting Podcast is going to be interviewing Caden Cassidy. This is going to be another awesome interview. You guys are not going to want to miss. So make sure you guys ring that notification bell so you guys get notified when I upload content.